DenseX. I introduced it in a video last week. We've been getting a lot of questions. Had quite a few signups to the Uncomp 5 app to learn more about DenseX. We had a bit of a leap forward in the logic today because everything that we do in Uncommon Success is built around leaderboards, testing, and being able to show that you're making progress, making a game out of things, being able to reward people for the progress that they make. But the problem with the way we had it set up, if you don't decide the jumps are going to be big for the testing, then it's almost impossible to leaderboard. So it's going to be in 10 kilo jumps, and we're going to demonstrate here this morning. I'm going to be doing 5 sets of 10, well 4 sets of 10 on the minute, and then on the last minute I'll go for maximum repetitions with the 40 kilos. Ideally, I'll get those 4 sets of 10 at the start because it's actually probably above my 10D10, definitely above my 10D10 weight. But yeah, let's test it out. And the gentleman on my left will be doing the same, but either 3s or 5s. I'll let them decide. So have one more warm up. Have you warmed up or? I'm warmed up. All right, Daniel's born warm. So when this timer starts, we'll kick it off. If you're training this in a group, I really like to do staggered start. So I'll start on the 0, Daniel will start on the 20, and then Seb will go on the 40. And even if the full set isn't finished, if you're doing longer stuff, it still makes it a lot more fun than if everyone does the thing at the same time and then everyone stands and looks at each other. You miss a lot of the opportunity as far as the vibe goes. You'd be surprised. Like we did a lot of dance sessions like that, and it's much better if you set up that group dynamic. So let's get it. Getting the countdown.
You want to have it first? Yeah.
So the goal is to make these reps quite elastic, fast, smooth. The first 4 sets, they're a warm-up, but they're also going to give you a training effect. They're priming you and prepping you for that test set. It's a little bit like Jim Wendler's 5-3-1, which is the most used training program of the modern time. One of the most well-known training programs is Wendler 5-3-1. It was built on a similar concept, but putting a bit more work or training in before that maximal set kind of takes a little bit of pressure off what's going to be for the last set. So you've still done something good, regardless of how the last set goes. So I'm going to be well and truly warm. It looks easy, but 10s, there's always a bit of a burn. And you're only dealing with 40 seconds rest. So it's cumulative, which is going to make the last set fun. Now when we get to the last set, the rule is no pauses, and the bar can't get super slow. It needs to be 2 seconds or less on the way up. So we don't want to descend into ugly repetitions. Some would say that these fast repetitions are ugly, but fast isn't ugly. It's just a different style of training. Oof. Feel the burn.
Comes in quick.
Kind of glad I'm not going for 10D10. Don't think it would happen, but I'm curious to see what I can get here. One more set and then it's go time. How are you guys feeling?
It wants to start slower than it actually is.
It's a good quick burn to get in.
If you don't have time to train, 5 minutes. Breakfast's going to be ready here shortly. Lots of stuff that I'm working on. Excited with work at the moment. Even just this one block today, it's going to give me a training effect. Yay. So I may do more training today, but if I was to only do this 5 minutes, it'd still be a winning day. This is going to be a personal best because I've never done it before. It's going to give me something to leverage my network, to interact on. So it's good for the business, it's fun, it builds social connection. Getting all these wins from 5 minutes. So this is the one.
Last set.
Feeling like 10's gonna be. But yeah, whatever it is.
Go. Just about.
So all that to get 11. But no, the goal is to get the training effect, to test, and so the next time I do this, I get to play the game again and see if it's one more. How many?
8.
Done? Well done. All right. Flown all the way from Chile to do this. Flew in this morning. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yep.
11, 12. All right. So Seb maybe could have gone one more. I deliberately didn't want to grind and didn't want to set the example of grinding. Those last repetitions, if you grind them out, some will say that that's where all the gains come, and I would say that's where all the gains are lost because it'll cost you 1 or 2 days more recovery to get those extra couple of reps. But the reason why you're going slow is because the muscles aren't firing. The muscles are still there, but the body has shut down the signals to the muscles, and therefore the muscle isn't doing work. Now, you would be driving more metabolic pressure into that area by continuing to do more reps, but I think that idea of getting to failure and beyond failure, you can do it, and if you were only going to train this one movement for the day, then 100% you could go for maximal reps and then rest pause after that. There isn't one way of doing this, but if the goal is strength and higher frequency of exposure, then I prefer not to go all the way into failure. So that was it. That's DenseX. Use the 10 kilo weight that's appropriate for you and get a score. Soon enough, we'll have this within the Uncom Pro app, and we may even eventually have a Dense app, which allows everyone around the world to track their Dense numbers, because this way of training is by far the most effective and efficient, viral, socially engaging method of training that I've ever used. And that's the dream, that mankind has an athletic future. What would it take for mankind to have an athletic future? I've been posing myself that question for the last 20 years. This village is one manifestation of answering that. DenseX is another manifestation of answering the question, how can we have an athletic future? It's not that hard to argue that some people would rather mankind not have an athletic future. There's a few pieces of evidence here and there that the athleticism of mankind isn't the major priority of some of the biggest influencers on the world today. And I'm not talking about social media influencers, because they're not really influencers. There's other influencers and engineers, and I would argue that they don't have mankind's athletic future as their top priority. Maybe it's in the top 3, or maybe it's actually inverted. But this method and getting around the social concept of enjoying your training and connecting with others and improving yourself, it's very addictive. Once you do it, once you get the idea of it, you're going to want to continue to do it for the rest of your life. And so test this session out. Please beat me on 5D 10. Last set, go for as many reps as you can. I know there's probably 6 or 8 players, maybe 15 in the Uncom game who are going to beat me on this. If you're one of them, happy days. Add your score to the comments, tag me in your video if you put it on Instagram. And yeah, as always, ask any questions. Let's build this athletic future.